Hey guys, this is Bill. Some of my customers and colleagues wanted to see my solar setup and the heating setup for my house, so we're just going to run through that real quick. I do have a few more trees I need to cut down that are blocking some of my solar gain. As you can see, some pine trees. I'm going to be cutting those down soon. So the house is a small ranch. It's positioned solar south, so I'm getting a lot of passive solar through the windows. Today is 30 degrees outside in January. We have a 30 tube, evacuated tube solar collector on the roof. I believe that was for Silicon Solar. Right now we have the wood stove going. That's our primary source of heat in the winter. So we'll take a walk inside and I'll show you the setup in there. Okay, so we're inside the house. We have a Honeywell Wi-Fi thermostat, so we can check and adjust the temperature in the house remotely if we have any situations, if it gets too hot or too cold in here because we've lost heat, it'll alert us remotely. So it's 79 in here with no heat on, so that's just from the passive solar. We do have a wood fire going, but it's throttled way back, so it's really not producing much. So we'll go downstairs and look at the setup down there. Okay, so we're inside the basement. This is the den area of the house, directly below the living room and dining room. So if we look at the outside temperature, it's 30 degrees outside, and it's 80 in here because we are right near the wood stove, 23% humidity. So what we have for a wood stove is a Vermont Castings Defiant wood stove. And we have a homemade heat exchanger or collector to reclaim some of the heat off the wood stove to heat the domestic hot water. Heat shield because it's so close to the wall. And then we have a collection hood over the wood stove that collects the heat and sends it up through the floor grate. I used an antique floor grate. I had it sandblasted and powder coated. That's where the heat goes up through the floor. So right now we're running about 98 degrees going up through the delivery system to the main part of the house with just a small fire in the wood stove. We'll go in the other room and I'll show you the rest of the solar setup. Okay, so in here we have a Crown triple pass oil-fired boiler, and I have a 330 gallon oil tank in the basement here. We have our zones, our main pump zones, and then there's separate zones off each one of these. So we have 8 zones in total, one of which is the indirect for the hot water. So this is our solar tank, our main solar tank. It's an 80 gallon indirect tank with a coil on top for the solar. A coil on top for the indirect off the boiler, and then a coil on the bottom is for the solar. Our solar pump that pumps up to the roof. This is our pump for the collector on the wood stove. We have a outdoor reset control for the boiler that adjusts the boiler temperature based on the outside air temperature. And then of course our zone controllers for the different zones we have. We have our solar controller over here. And we can check this and see our system and how it's been running. So today, this is the temperature readout of the collector on the roof, and it's got up to 137 degrees, so it's cranking pretty good, even though it's only 30 degrees out. And we can go to the collector on the wood stove. That's been up and down. As it heats up, the pump comes on and pumps out the heat, and then the temperature drops back down, but it's been up to as much as 121 degrees today. And then we can check the actual tank, storage tank. We have 2 tanks actually on this system. This is the 80 gallon solar tank. It dropped down, you can see where we took showers, and then the temperature has rose up steadily since then and is up to 115 degrees. And then we also have a second tank I added, 45 gallon tank. And that one is currently up to 109 degrees, and you can also see where that one drops before when we took showers. So the water is preheated in that tank and then goes into this larger tank. The smaller tank is this 45-gallon tank here. So our water comes in from the well into this tank first, and if this tank is up to temperature, it starts preheating the water in here before it comes into the solar tank, and then it comes out of the tank to the fixtures for showers and hot water. Alright, thanks for watching my video. Just a few more things that I wanted to mention. This is the diagram of how the system is piped. I do not have this coil piped up in the attic yet, but that's something I'm going to be adding in the future. There will be a picture of this diagram on the video. And also I wanted to make a point to show that our reset for our boiler actually has the boiler shut off today, even though it's only 30 out. And it's saying the outside temperature is 71 degrees. Now obviously it is not 71 degrees out. The reason that it says 71 degrees is because I positioned the sensor on the south side of the house, which lots of times that is not the preferred method, but because of my solar gain, the passive solar that we have in the house, I actually wanted it to shut the boiler off on days where we had a lot of passive solar gain, so the boiler would not be running to maintain a temperature that it really didn't need to. So that's the reason for that. Thanks for watching the video, and we hope to do more in the future.